He stole my idea, my credit, and nearly my career, all with a single email. But when you work in data analytics long enough, you learn something dangerous. Every lie leaves a trail. So while he was busy climbing, smiling for the cameras, and shaking hands with executives, I was quietly building something else. A system designed to expose him, line by line, until his entire empire collapsed under its own fake numbers. His name was Zach. Smart, charming, and dangerously confident. The kind of coworker who never typed a single line of code, but somehow always ended up on stage presenting the final product. I joined the company 3 years after him, fresh out of grad school, hungry to prove myself. Our department handled predictive analytics for client behavior, and when I built a prototype that could reduce churn by nearly 40%, I thought I'd finally earned my place. 2 days before the board presentation, Zach asked to review my model. He said he wanted to help simplify the technical explanation for the non-engineers. Naively, I agreed. The next morning, I opened my inbox to find the meeting invite, but my name was missing. Zach's wasn't. He presented my system as his own, even reused my demo slides. When the applause started, I just stood there, frozen in the back of the room. That was the day I learned that talent means nothing when manipulation wears a suit. HR called it a miscommunication. My manager told me to focus on team success. Zach got promoted to senior data strategist. I got assigned to maintenance work, fixing bugs in the very tool I built. But that humiliation didn't break me. It sharpened me. Because when someone takes credit for your creation, they unknowingly hand you the blueprint of their downfall. For weeks, I kept my head down, doing exactly what they expected. Quiet, obedient, invisible. Zach strutted through the halls like a celebrity. People congratulated him on his innovation, while I debugged the code he didn't even understand. But I wasn't angry anymore. Not the kind of anger that explodes, the kind that calculates. Zach's version of my system was flashy, but fragile. He didn't grasp how the predictive model actually self-corrected based on live feedback loops. So when he demanded new updates, I volunteered to handle them. Every time I fixed a bug, I added a line of invisible code, my code, an internal monitoring tool that tracked every data access, every unauthorized export, every decision Zach made inside the system. He loved attention, so I gave him plenty of reasons to request live demos, with me running silent traces in the background. Within a month, I had a complete map of his digital footprint. And something else, a record showing he'd been leaking internal projections to an external consultant. I didn't act right away. I wanted more than revenge. I wanted justice that looked like coincidence. So I started building a second model, one that detected inconsistencies in user behavior patterns across internal accounts. A security improvement, I called it. Management approved it without hesitation. Zach had no idea that every keystroke he made was now being recorded under the system that bore his name. The beauty of corporate systems is that no one questions complexity if it sounds technical enough. So when I proposed a quarterly audit of data access integrity, Zach actually supported it. He thought it made him look responsible. What he didn't realize was that the audit framework was built to highlight exactly the kind of tampering he was doing. I started feeding the system subtle triggers. Not enough to raise alarms, just enough to log patterns. Zach loved shortcuts. He'd export partial client datasets to test his predictions offline, probably to impress investors or friends in the consulting world. Each export left a fingerprint. And each fingerprint, my tracker captured in silence. Meanwhile, I played the part of the quiet analyst. I'd nod in meetings, send him draft reports, even laugh at his forced jokes. The more comfortable he got, the sloppier his habits became. I found emails sent to private accounts, screenshots of proprietary dashboards, and one encrypted folder labeled client_futures. That was the gold mine. By then, the internal monitoring system had enough proof to expose not just data misuse, but a full breach of contract. Still, I didn't rush. Timing mattered. I waited until the next quarterly review, the one where executives analyzed system integrity metrics. The night before the meeting, I finalized the report. My algorithm, his algorithm, flagged one user as a severe risk to company security. The username, Zach Strat. When I pressed Generate Summary, the system produced a complete visual, timestamps, exports, emails, all linked to him. I leaned back, watching the progress bar crawl to 100%. For the first time in months, I smiled. The next morning, the conference room smelled like burnt coffee and ambition. Zach stood at the front, flawless as always, polished suit, confident grin, eyes scanning the executives like he owned the place. The quarterly review was his stage, and he was ready to perform. He started strong. Graphs, metrics, buzzwords. Our predictive system continues to outperform expectations, he said. Efficiency is up, retention is stable, and client satisfaction has never been higher. I sat 2 rows back, silent, laptop open, waiting for the perfect moment. When the CTO asked for a breakdown of data integrity, Zach turned to me with that familiar smirk. My colleague will walk you through the audit results, he said, tossing me the spotlight he thought I wasn't ready for. I connected my screen to the projector. Of course, I said calmly. We recently implemented an internal tracking system to monitor all access points and export logs. It's been very effective at identifying potential security concerns. The first chart appeared, neat, professional, harmless. Then came the second. It showed the access anomalies over the past 3 months. Red spikes began to appear, each labeled with a user ID. I zoomed in. As you can see, one account consistently accessed sensitive data outside approved hours. Murmurs spread. I clicked once more. The username appeared in bold text across the screen, Zach, Strat. For a moment, silence. Then questions. Hard, rapid, cornered questions. Zach tried to speak. Something about system errors, maybe sabotage, but the CTO cut him off. We'll verify with IT, she said. Immediately. The meeting ended abruptly. Security escorted Zach out of the room 20 minutes later. I didn't gloat, didn't smile, didn't even look his way. Because real revenge doesn't need witnesses. It only needs evidence. By the end of the week, Zach's office was empty. His nameplate gone, his access revoked, his smile erased from every internal newsletter. HR sent out a bland memo about policy violations and ongoing investigations. No one asked for details. In corporate culture, silence moves faster than truth. The system audit was declared a success. Executives praised the integrity initiative that uncovered the breach. They never realized that the one who built it wasn't protecting the company from hackers, but from hypocrisy. A few days later, my manager called me in. We're restructuring the analytics division, he said. We'd like you to lead it. His tone was careful, respectful now. I accepted without emotion. Promotions mean nothing when you've already proven what you're capable of. That night, I stayed late, just once more, walking past Zach's old desk. His chair was still slightly turned, like he'd left in the middle of a thought. I opened my laptop, pulled up the system logs, and deleted the tracker I'd built. My revenge had served its purpose. It didn't need to exist anymore. I didn't expose him out of hate. I did it to reclaim the one thing he tried to steal, my name attached to my work. In corporate wars, power doesn't belong to the loudest voice in the room. It belongs to the one who keeps receipts, waits patiently, and understands that every system, even people, eventually reveal their true data. And when they do, all you have to do is press run.